today we're going to talk about how it's all your fault. How I just stumped you on that one, right? So I hear a lot, and I'm sure a lot of you do as well. We all have family or friends or even ourselves, and we all sit around, we complain. It seems like you can't be an American citizen without being very negative. I do know happy people, but I do know far more that complain about every single little thing. And I tell them what I'm about to say in this real talk. And I've lost friends and I've lost family members over it. But it's the truth. Because I too didn't want to see it. And thankfully it was revealed to me. Everything that is wrong in your life, I won't say it's directly always your fault. But you are the only one that can surpass it. So if you're sitting around and you're in woe is me mode all the time because of something that happened in your past, that's your fault. It's not the person who committed that act against you in the past fault. It's not the fault of anybody else. It's your fault that you're deciding to stay with it, to continue to remember it, to continue to harness those thoughts, which will only bring you down. And I know it's not easy. I know forgetting about your past is not easy. Trust me, I know this all too well. And I will not sit here and lie to you and say that I never think of my past. I think of my past all the time. But you have to know how to correct it. You have to know how to simply say, there's nothing I can do, and move on. If you have the option or the opportunity to go back and ask for forgiveness or give forgiveness for something that happened in your past, I wholeheartedly agree that you should do that. But if it's beyond that, if it's a bridge that's burned all the way down to ash, and there's nothing that can be done about it, why continue to hurt yourself? Why continue to ponder those thoughts? Why would you purposely think about something over and over again, knowing that it was going to bring you down deeper and deeper into a depressive state? The only person that can stop you from doing that is you. Yeah, sure, you can get drunk, you can use drugs, you can do whatever you usually do as a habit to get rid of it, but trust me, it doesn't work. Take that from a 8-year sober alcoholic. Because I tried drowning out my past with liquor and it didn't work. And if you want to know more about my story on that, let me know in the comments and I'll tell you about how I lived by the bottle to try to douse those memories. It doesn't work. I don't know everybody else's memories. I don't know what you've gone through. I know there's some horrific things out there that have happened to people. I know because I've been through some of them, and I know that I've put others through some of them. I have done things to people in my life that were important to me that I will never gain that level of friendship or relationship back ever again. And I could sit here and woe is me about it for you guys, but I won't because it's done. It's in the past. I live like the dog now. Another good example of that is Ted Lasso. Type in Ted Lasso, be a goldfish into YouTube and it will show you a clip. And it's an awesome clip because it really resonates with the whole live like a dog. Folks, basically what it all boils down to, what I'm getting at is that you can sit around and just keep wondering, well, what if I did this? Or what if I had done that? Or what if she didn't do this? Or what if this? Or what if that? But you can't change it. You couldn't do anything about nuclear missiles falling, even if you had 3 days warning, any more than you can do anything about 3 days ago. There's nothing you can do. You can, like I said, if there's a way that you can go back from those 3 days and change something that might have happened between you and another person and make it better, then do so. Do that. But if you can't, move on. I hear so many people all day long, friends, family, people that I try not to put myself around even though I love them, but I purposely try not to be around them because of the negativity. And like I said, I'm no different. I can be very negative at times as well. You don't want to hear me do a real talk rant because that would be like a 3-hour video and it would be filled with words that nobody wants to hear me scream. Or maybe you would. And if you do, leave that in the comment and I'll make one. But I can tell you right now, it would be all ego. But the problem is that all of these people that I love dearly, you know, they sit around and say, oh, I'm broke and I'm flat broke and I'm sick of being broke. Okay, well, go get a new job. well, I can't do that. I don't want to have to go look for a new job, and then I'll have to try to find something I fit in. Okay, so you don't want to get a new job where you could possibly make more money and you wouldn't have to worry about being broke all the time. No, I don't want to do that. It's too much work. Okay, then stop complaining. Now, I tell this to friends and family, and they look at me very puzzled, like I'm some kind of a-hole. And maybe I am, but at the same time, I'm just being truthful with them. I'm being honest with them, just like I try to be with you guys. Because when it boils down to it, the only person that's going to be able to stop you thinking about your past or worrying about your future is you. That's it. Nobody else is going to give it to you. God, Jesus, Buddha, some guru, some book, some YouTube video, some Ponzi scheme, some scratch ticket or lottery number. None of that's going to work. The only thing that's going to work is you sitting down and saying, okay, I've had enough. It's time to change this. And until you're willing to do that, and I've done it, and it's hard, but I've done it. And until you're willing to do it, all the complaining and stuff that you do, and you wonder why nobody listens to you, that's why. Because they have their own problems. They have their own complaints. Some people just get sick of it after a while. I have friends that I have told them, I've said this in other Real Talks, that I will give you my opinion and I will give you my advice. My opinion is based on what I think of a situation, but I don't have general knowledge of it because I've never experienced it before myself. And I will give you my advice. My advice is based on, yes, I've been through this situation myself and this is how I handled it. I will give you those two options when you ask me how to help you with your problem of being broke. If I tell you these things and you continue to deny my information, but continue to come back to me complaining about the same problem, I will walk away from you. Now, I've said that in another one of these Real Talks, and people said, well, you can't do that, and that's giving up on people. It's not giving up on people. They've already gave up on themselves. They're not willing to hear any kind of advice or opinion to help them out of that problem. It's not that I don't love them, but I can't help them any further. It's kind of like beating a dead horse, because I have things to do. I know it sounds selfish in a way, but it's really not. And until you realize that, you're going to continue to be yourself, to allow yourself to be used and keep on enabling people. That's another aspect of this whole thing. Listen, nobody, and I mean nobody, can change their path but themselves. It's simple as that. That is my opinion, but it's also been proven to me by so many others who have been in the same situations as me. You can sit around till your face turns blue complaining about how the whole world is against you, the devil's out to get you, so-and-so is out to get you, the government, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, whoever. It doesn't matter. The only person that's stopping you is you. It's as simple as that. It's blunt, real talk, honest truth. And until you sit down and you say, okay, I'm done with this. I'm done worrying about some relationship I had 12 years ago and how much I miss her. Or I'm done with all the mistakes that I made in the past and hurt so many people. I'm done with all that. I'm done with crying myself to sleep every night. I'm done with hitting the bottle. I'm done with hitting the joint. I'm done with all that. I want to move on. I don't want to worry about the future either. The future is whatever it will be. I just want to focus on now. I want to focus on making myself better. I want to focus on making myself the best that I can be so that others will be able to enjoy the benefits of that. So that I'm welcomed and I'm loved and my experience helps nurture others. That's what I want to be. You sit there silently, or you ask God or whoever you believe in, and you do that. Once you're willing to give it up, it will come to you. But you can sit there all you want and say, oh, it's God's fault. It's Hare Krishna's fault. It's Allah's fault. You can blame everybody and anything you want, but it's not going to work. Trust me, it is not going to work. The only way, brothers and sisters, that it will work is if you consciously sit down and tell yourself, I'm done with this. It's time to move on. Because so many of you come to this channel, and I can see through your comments that, yeah, you're growing in certain ways, but I also can tell that you haven't come to this conclusion. Not all of you, but some of you. Because even in your statements, your comments, you're judging other people. And if you're still judging other people for their past mistakes or for their beliefs that you don't believe in, that means you have not forgiven yours. That's the truth. You may not like it, but it is true. And again, somebody gave it to me and I didn't like it either, but here I am a couple of years later realizing how honest it was. You have to remember 3 things. Only you can forgive yourself. Only you can propel yourself to move forward. And only you can make up your own mind. Never allow another man's truth to be your own. I'm not asking you to allow this truth to be your own. Look into it, decipher it, figure out if it resonates with you. But I'm going to tell you once more that it is truth. You can sit here like the majority of people I know will do in my personal life. They will sit here until the day they die, blaming others, not taking anything into their own account. Even when they say, oh, well, some of it was my fault, but there's always a but the situation or the other person or this, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can't control what they're thinking. Only thing you can control is what you're doing. They will sit here, they will die that way. Many a brother and sister has passed on with regret. Realize that there is no past and there is no future. Move on. There's something that I always remember Jesus saying. There's quite a few things, but one of them was, it's not what goes into your mouth that is defiling. It's what comes out of your mouth that is defiling. Do not put things out into the universe, especially if they condemn yourself. So even if you don't sit around and go, oh, it's this guy's fault and that guy's fault, God's fault, whatever, but you just sit there and blame yourself and you're in a depressed state and you hate yourself for it. And I've been there, folks. Realize that by putting those thoughts out there, you're doing more damage to yourself. Now, it's not easy to walk around all day long and go, hey, I'm a great guy. You know, I do this and I'm awesome and I love my life and blah, blah. It's not easy. Because if we're being honest with ourselves, most of us won't do that. Because we're not being honest with ourselves if we are. But you can catch those thoughts, those depressing thoughts, those thoughts of blame or judgment on others. You can catch them and you can say to them, not today. Or you can go into them and you can say, what's this about? Why are we acting like this? Let's discuss this. Let's move past this. It's time for everybody to move past it. Unfortunately, this message will only come across to a couple of hundred people. But hopefully at least 10 of you get what I'm trying to say. And hopefully you'll be able to share it someday with somebody else as well. The only thing that's holding any one of us back is ourselves. We have to learn to love, learn to forgive, and learn to move on. Nobody is going to do that for you but you. I hope this made sense. I love you all. Walk in light.
Until next time, my friends, I ask all people everywhere to plant seeds of love, peace, joy, and oneness.